Because when you're moving the bow, it's in a little bit different position. So maybe your wrist will move a little bit. Like sometimes with line, see how my wrist kind of moves a little bit? Well, I guess a little bit, just a tiny bit of movement throughout my hand, but that's relaxation. The relaxation will help it to get that warm sound, because if I'm totally stiff, you know, it's a lot easier, it's more fluid. It's kind of with every instrument, you want some sort of relaxation so that you can, it's kind of like expecting the unexpected. And having it where your bow changes is maybe a little bit unexpected, it's a little bit different. And so if you're changing the bow and it's always in the exact same position, nothing ever changes, your hand's stiff, rock solid, then there's no leeway. There's no leeway. And so the best is to give yourself that leeway that you can move a little bit with it. All right. So now what I want you to do is, well, first continue that. Try half notes with that. 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you need your left hand, go for it. And then once you feel comfortable, just take your left hand out and just use it like that. Now I don't want you, just for that exercise, I want it where the elbow is kind of going back and forth, where it's going out and in, out and in, out, in, out, in. Almost like someone's pushing your elbow in, and then and then the bow and everything goes back in. So it's kind of like, wah, goes out, in. All right. So now what I want you guys to do is watch me again, but I'm going to do it turned around. Elbow moves inward. Just like that. And now I'm going to turn back around. I forgot to mention, but if you haven't rosined your bow already, it'd be very good to do that. So you have rosin here, and you want to rosin your bow every 3 times you play, about average. And so you take it from the frog, then you go to the tip. Just make sure you get a lot on there. Alright, and that's how you put on rosin. I'm turned back around and finished with the rosin. So, also, I forgot to mention this beforehand, but I mentioned it in class. I want you guys to do this if you haven't already. If you're feeling uncomfortable sitting with it, have it where the cello goes straight out in front of you, and then say you're sitting straight towards the cello, and then turn left just a little bit, your left, just a little bit, turn left, and then have it where the cello rests kind of on your chest a bit. Okay, and so if you guys felt like you were getting squeaks or whatever, or you see that your bow wasn't going straight, also, it's kind of hard from this angle to necessarily see that your bow is going perfectly straight or perfectly horizontal. So, mirrors are your best friend. I practice in front of a mirror all the time, and it's really helpful to see what I'm doing, because sometimes from this angle you can't tell as easily as you could with a mirror in front of you. So, or from another perspective. So, also if you guys were getting squeaks on this or anything, you want to almost think that your hand is the weight. It's the weight, almost like it's like not dead weight, but kind of the relaxation and the weight of your arm is pressing on the string. And it's kind of like a pull thing. It's not necessarily a press down and then you're not thinking, you're just allowing your arm to bring the weight down. And also if you're not feeling it, you can put a little bit, if anything, have it where the pressure goes from your finger to the string, your first finger. Again, the best idea is not to think of, oh, I'm pressing down, I'm pressing down, I'm pressing down. The best way to think of it is that you're pulling across but having the weight, and have it where the weight goes into this finger. Show it again. Also, another thing that may be helpful is to find your balance point on the bow. Now, what is a balance point? Well, it's the point at which you can hold the wood part of your bow and find it where it's just about balancing, like that. It's not moving. Like it won't fall down, it won't go this way, it won't go that way. It's just about the middle. And that would be a good place to start, maybe. And so that'd be actually a very good place to start, and just right around that area, because it's a very comfortable place for the bow and also for your hand. And so instead of the very frog or the very tip, it's good just about the balance point is a good place. Just those short strokes on the G string, and then you can move to the D string. Now also, when you go to the D string, it's a little bit higher. So your elbow's just slightly higher as well. Like on the C string, your elbow's lower. And then you slowly go up to the different strings, and then the A string's a lot higher. What I want you to, the main strings I want you to practice on with the bow right now is the G string and the D string. And if you're feeling up to it, the C string. And if you feel like, I got this, then you can try the A string. But let's go to the D string. Alright, and I did that on the G string a lot, and now I'll show you on the C string. To do is we're going to do a long bow. Now basically I was showing you this with the elbow just going back, but now we're going to get into using the forearm. So you're going to do it where you have your elbow go back a bit, and then once you feel it's at a comfortable spot, you take it and you use your forearm to go the rest of the way. And I'm perfectly fine. I want you guys to even try this, where your bow goes off. Because I want it to be, because if you're just using that, you're not going to get all the way to the tip or all the way to the frog. And so I want to make sure that you guys can do that. But the best way to prove to yourselves as well that you can go all the way to the tip is by even going past it. See that? Alright, so I want you guys to try that out. I want you to try that out a few times. So have it where your elbow, it's a fluid motion, where your elbow goes back, and then forearm comes, and then I want you to have it where it goes all the way out like that. So you guys can even think of when you're like, your forearm, using your forearm is like scrubbing, like you have a washcloth, and then you're like cleaning the table. Have it where it's about like, 90 degrees, like that, and then have it where you do just this part. Say you're standing over here, there's a chair in your way or something, and you're just rubbing that part right there. Try that out, because that'll kind of give the idea of how you use your forearm with the bow. Alright, so I'll show you guys one more time, and now it's a fluid motion. Alright, it goes back. Like that. Perfect. Now we're going to do it from the tip. You can use the tip. Now it's the exact same thing that I said before with the down bow, but the opposite, basically the opposite, the reverse. Having it where your forearm goes in and then the rest of your arm goes with it. So have it at the tip, then have your forearm go. And if you have your forearm come in, the rest of your arm will follow.